Amazin But True podcast from the New York Post. This episode of Amazin But True is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Shout out to Cadillac, everyone. I need an Escalade in my life. Visit your Cadillac showroom today. Be iconic. Thanks to EBBS Brewing Co. for having us. Tip your bartenders. Tip your servers. Have a beer. Thanks to Anthony Pirelli for being here. Andrew Hart, social guy, producer. Jake Brown here alongside former Mets pitcher. Give it up for Figgy, Nelson Figueroa. Old Timers Day has come and gone. It was a thing of beauty. Well, not a thing of beauty defensively. There was some ugliness, but we love them all. They were all fun to watch. And it was an 8-1 final. The Miracles beat the Amazins.
Who cares what the final was? Come on.
Just stating the box scores, you know. We're here to have, we talk with Doc Gooden, Tim Teufel, Billy Wagner, John Franco, Glendon, Rusch. You can hear that later in the podcast. But Figgy, they finally brought it back. The best owner in baseball, Steve Cohen, brought the fans out, a sellout. He brought back everyone from Bartolo to Glendon Rusch to Mike Piazza to Top Rat. Everyone and anyone was there, except Johan Santana, who didn't make it. We don't know why. But everyone was there. Fun times were had. And it was cool watching these guys out there.
It was something you kind of dreamt of. If you're a decade, you know the 2000s, you know the 86 team. Everybody has their own team. It was great to see all those different generations coming together, watching them all in the same field at the same time. And even the players. The players were so excited. We talked to all of them afterwards. We hung out in the suite with them as they came off the field, showered up, and they had smiles, nothing but smiles on their faces. They were so excited to be back there and having an opportunity to do it in front of the fans. A guy like Billy Wagner, who said he really wanted to have a chance to let it eat and see what he could hit on the radar gun, but there was no radar gun for him.
He threw gas.
He did.
He was throwing cheese.
He pitches to his high school baseball team. So there's that movie, The Rookie, right, where the guy makes the comeback after pitching to his high school team. So he had a little bit of an illusion of that he could do that. But it was great to see those guys go out there. You know, guys that could give that kind of effort, awesome. Bartolo Colon, he texted me and said he was going to throw at least 88 to 90, if not harder. And Edgardo Alfonso texted him back and told him, I can't wait to face you, and I'm going to turn that ish around, and he did. Hit a missile.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
I said ish. He hit a missile off of Bartolo Colon into what would have been the gap if it wasn't that Endy Chavez is still 28 years old playing center field in an old-timers game. But Chavez tracks it down. Mookie Wilson was outstanding, probably the MVP of the day.
In honor of the Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy, Endy Chavez is a poppy chulo. I mean, he still looks good. He's slim, like... Mookie Wilson is 66 and made a great play.
Outstanding.
On none other than, well, I think Benny Agbayani might have hit it.
Yes,
How about the ovation for Benny Agbayani? He was one of my favorite players. He might have got the loudest ovation, him and Bartolo, of the day. So that shows, eat your donuts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vogie.
Again, every generation was well represented, and it's not about the superstar players. It's not about the Hall of Famers. It was about the players that you used to root for, the guys that, had big moments. Chavez has the catch, but there was a lot of other things that he did. Benny as well had big moments, but there was a lot of other things he did on a day in and day out basis. And I'm telling you, those smiles were real. They were genuine, and it was great to see that all the way around. And the guys, again, that could do it, did it. Turk Wendell wanted to, get a chance to pitch a little bit more. He went to go spike the rosin bag, and Billy Wagner was already there, and he couldn't spike the rosin bag. That was his signature move. That used to be like the LeBron, before the LeBron, right? Everybody in the crowd would go crazy, and then he spiked the rosin bag. So he was ready to do it and give the fans what they wanted, and Wagner goes, hey, give me the ball, I got to pitch. So that knocked that out. But, you've seen some of the hitters put, the bat on the ball, and it was just, everyone had a really good time. The fans enjoyed it. It was only 3 innings.
2.5, kind of. I think they called the mercy rule. It was 8-1. They're like, we quit. It stopped out of nowhere.
Well, that's the thing, is that you run out of guys who can actually play, and guys who thought they could play, as they're rounding third base and their hamstrings are tightening up, they're like, nah, I don't think I could do that again.
I felt better about myself. And I'm a fat ass, but I felt good. I wanted to call my dietitian immediately, be like, I'm looking good out there. It was cool to see. I was 9 years old in 2000, so that was the first year I was a fan. And to see all those guys, back together,
yeah.
It was special. Like, you had the 69 guys, the 86 guys, the 2000 guys. You had the recent guys like the Daniel Murphys of the world.
Yeah.
Still looks good.
Jose Reyes.
Every kind of fun year in Mets history, and they're very limited, were all represented, and it was special. You had the guys with the canes, you had the guys couldn't walk, the guys who could walk, the guys who could run, can't run. Literally every kind of guy and every kind of decade was represented. And I think that's good that Steve Cohen brought it back, and he's taking this team in the right direction.
Listen, whatever he did to make that thing come to fruition, he paid whatever price he had to pay.
Money.
And it's, again, if you have that kind of money that you can bring others happiness, he did that today. He did that for not just the 40-something odd thousand that were here in attendance. He did that for all the Met fans that could watch on TV to see all those guys and point them out to their kids and grandkids and say, this is the guy I used to root for. And then you could go to YouTube and watch their highlight videos. All those kinds of things, that's a generational thing that you hope that the Mets are trying to build that kind of culture. They're trying to change what happened for those years. And it's everybody, will say it's the Wilpons. Whatever it was, there just never felt like a reason that all the Met fans could come together. And now it's different. You got guys like Dwight Gooden, who he apologized. He kept apologizing for his outing, as if he was going to go out there and just, sit at 95 with a nasty hook. He goes. Right when I tried to put a little bit more on it, my body kept saying no. I goes like R. Kelly, the R. Kelly song, right?
Yeah.
My mind's telling me yes, my body's telling me no. That was him today. So all those guys had a great time. We got a chance to hang out with every single one of them. We have autographs from all of them. So today was a great day to be a fan. And I'm excited I didn't get a chance to play in it, and I was even more excited I got a chance to be a fan and see all these guys have that recognition. The first one is very special, and I look forward to the next ones that come up, because I think there's going to be more and more guys that will want to play in it, and there's guys that, hey, this was a one and done. They got a chance to be acknowledged by the crowd. And how many times have you heard me say, you want to be able to give people their flowers while they're alive? And so for those 62 team, the 69 team, 73 team, the guys that could make it out there, and to do the Willie Mays thing was a huge surprise. Mm-hmm. We kept saying there was going to be a surprise.
I got goosebumps when Howie kind of said that. I think Howie got goosebumps saying it.
I thought it was going to be David Wright, and that was the other thing. Remember, when they did the national anthem, I'm literally standing next to Emrod, Michael Rodriguez. Shout out to Emrod. Shout out to Suite 2, because they know how to do it over there at the Citi Field. Whew. But I'm standing there, and they said that this is the original organist from Shea Stadium who played the national anthem.
Okay.
And as soon as she started to play it, you had that throwback feeling when you were a kid, because they did the organ. It wasn't always having a live singer. And I swear, I had goosebumps all up and down my arms, because I remember that feeling. I remember that there was an organ player that did that at Shea Stadium. And then they did the scoreboard to make it look like it was Shea Stadium. And then the Mets went out and didn't disappoint, and a 3-0 victory.
And they did it like a Seaver kind of outing. They honored him with David Peterson with the shutout. How about this? Hearts just showed us this. Mike Puma, our guy at the New York Post. Ray Knight said, I love the New York Mets. I don't like the Wilpons. So he made it pretty clear. Ooh, fighting words. Page 6 quickly picked that up. Did you not like the Wilpons, Figgy?
I didn't have a problem with the Wilpons.
I put you on the spot there.
No. It was it's a very different situation, right? You're talking about guys who were becoming free agents and guys that got traded away and guys that was different. Like for me, every opportunity that I got was a blessing. And because I've known them so long, I knew their background of being Lafayette kids. Fred Wilpon went to Lafayette. John Franco, Lafayette. Sandy Koufax, Lafayette. Kevin Baez, Lafayette. Those are my rival high school guys. So I've known the Wilpons in that capacity. And then I get drafted as a 30th rounder in 1995. I didn't say, oh, screw the Wilpons. As soon as I got drafted, I was excited as all hell. I was going to have a chance to put on a Met uniform, and it didn't happen right away. I went toss and turn all over the country, all over the world, basically. I came back in 2008, drafted in 95, came back 13 years later, and I got a chance to put on that uniform and pitch here at Shea Stadium for the first time. Was I thinking, oh, the owner screwed me back in 1998 when they traded me? No. You know what I was thinking? Man, my friends and family are going to share in this journey, and everything that they have, supported me through. I had a chance to just have that one, even if it was one outing, it was well worth it. And so I would never say that about the Wilpons. I know the Wilpons tried to put a good product out there. I know they spent money, and you guys can go through it. Jason Bay, even Santana didn't finish his career, while playing. They spent the money. Even Cespedes, they spent the big money on Cespedes. It didn't come back. They never put big money out that came back, and it was like, oh, wow, they got their money's worth. And so there is trepidation when you're the ownership group. So you can understand it a little bit, but I think so many people are like, oh, they're so cheap, they're so cheap. They still put, it wasn't top 3 money, but they still put top 7 money into the product over the last 20 years. It just never worked out. It's unfortunate. That's just called bad luck, and especially you add Madoff.
Yeah. All right, we've talked enough about the freaking Wilpons.
All right, now you don't want to go back on it.
Steve Cohen era, Uncle Stevie. Make me some spaghetti and meatballs, Uncle Stevie.
Listen.
Let's give it up for the Cardinals, who have defeated the Braves. The Mets have a 3-game lead. A walk-off win by the Cardinals, and the Mets are up 3 games. They win 3-0 today. Oh, man, what a capper to a good day at the ballpark. And David Peterson fills in again, Figgy. Just whoever fills in, they do it, whether it's a banker from Omaha or David Peterson or whoever else it may be. It wasn't, Buto, and Sapucky, but it's the likes of a banker and David Peterson who are getting the job done. Buck Showalter continues to lead this squad, who, let's give it up, has guaranteed a winning season.
That's right.
82 wins. We could, don't say that. And following this pod, the Mets go on a 34-game losing streak. No, we don't want that. Winning season, all good vibes, and another packed house, Figgy. You said it sold out. 42,617, a sellout crowd at the ballpark.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, all the way around, people had not just a great time, but you saw generational, just kids, grandkids, families coming together. They were holding hand in hand, watching and looking out there, pointing at the different players from even the old-timers game to today's game, just watching. Brandon Nimmo set the tone. First at bat, bam, hits a home run, and already we're off and running. And so I think that's what you want to be. This is who we are as Met fans, right? We're blue-collared, we're gritty, we're dirty. We want to get our hands dirty and get the job done, however it may be. We don't want, is it the most money that can be? It can be now because we have an owner who will do that, but at the same time, we love those kinds of players. The Benny Agbayanis of the world, the Chavezes of the world, the Nimmos of the world. We love those kinds of players. Those are Met players to us. Wally Backman getting introduced almost second to last, that tells you what people acknowledge as a Met kind of player. He was the kind of guy who would go into second base, take a guy out, and make sure that the Mets scored that run, because that's the way to play the game. Heart and hustle, and that's what Blue and Orange is about.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think like a Yankee old-timer is like a Babe Ruth. A Met is Benny Agbayani. And that's what makes us Mets fans. That's why we love this team. You forgot to include Sweaty in the blue collar, as I am right now with my sweat towel here. But this was one of those kind of days that makes you realize why you love this franchise, why I've been here 51 times this year. I think I need medical attention.
You set a record. This is a new record.
It's getting absurd. This ballpark's been packed for like Monday games, Tuesday games, Wednesday games.
Today was ridiculous though. The lines when we got here. Yeah. The lines when we got here were around the corner in every single entranceway. There was nowhere you could go, nowhere where, oh wait, let's go down to this gate, let's go down. No, you couldn't go anywhere. It was standing room only from the very beginning, and the fans stood there, sharing stories, laughing, joking. No one was yelling about, oh, this sucks, this is terrible. No, you know what? This is a great day. And I think the weather was fantastic. They did a great job with the ceremony, all the introductions, the family members that could be there representing the different families. And again, the Willie Mays, retiring number 24. No Met will ever wear number 24 after this year. That is such a great thing, because Yankees are out of numbers, aren't they? It's like three, 4 times each number. Well, yeah. Exactly. I think what you want to have is, right, you want to have something that you can say is ours. And when they did the Jackie Robinson Rotunda here at the stadium, some people felt like, well, that's the Brooklyn Dodgers. He didn't play for the Mets. And you wanted more of the things that the Mets were famous for. The little small corner that they had with the Mets memorabilia from those years past. Now all of a sudden you're starting to get bigger things up in the corner, the numbers being retired, those players being, the accolades. And then Willie Mays, of course. Like, if you can put your name alongside Willie Mays, you do that in a heartbeat. And Willie Mays was New York baseball.
But Figgy, you actually nailed it, though, because you always said where it's like you want to give these guys their due when they're alive. And granted, Willie Mays can't travel. He's too old to travel now. But the fact that they were able to do that, and Howie Rose said that, this was a long-awaited thing that Payson had said that we wanted to do this. Like, this is an owner that understands the team's history, that understands that this is for the fans. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you get to do that and do it in sort of in a grand fashion like that is so awesome. And you got to give credit to Jay Horowitz as well, too. He put all this together. He got all the guys in. And I know you had a lot of Jay memories, but
can you give us your Jay Horowitz impression, Figgy?
Well, so Jay Horowitz, of course, is 30-some-odd years as the PR man for the New York Mets. He's moved on to be the alumni relations person, and as soon as he reaches out to you, you answer your phone with a, "What do you need, Jay?" anything I can do, Jay.
And how does he respond?
Let me see what hold on one second. And then he'll take his glasses off and put the phone as close to his face as he can. And then he'll pull it back and just hold on one second. Who is this again? You called me, Jay. But Jay Horowitz is one of the best baseball people around. He's done a phenomenal job through the years. And that the fact that we do have an alumni association, I think that's huge. I used to laugh because I played for the Pittsburgh Pirates just a short while, and every
sorry to hear that. Thoughts and prayers to you and your family.
But every off season, I would get it was called the Black and Gold newsletter, and you would get this newsletter that invited you to be in the golf outing, invited you to be, and you would get. I had everyone's name and number and contact information. You know, it's not every day that you get to be a major league player and you become part of a fraternity like this. It would be very cool to be able to reach out to all these guys, and whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, whether it's a chat, but to have a chance to speak to your teammates that you had, or even some of the guys that came before you, it's really a special thing. And I think that that's something that I always wanted to have as a Met fan, and Jay Horowitz was my Rolodex, right? I call him and be like, hey, I need Mookie Wilson's number. He texted back to me and he goes, you didn't get it from me. Yeah, who else am I getting it from? But any of those things, that's something that's very special about it. And I think that's the reason why a lot of these guys came, with open arms and said, whatever you need today. And they did a great job out there.
Yeah, listen, we were around all of them. It was fun. Jose Reyes complimented my gold shoes. He knows style very well.
No, he said, this guy, good fashion. Good fashion.
Good fashion. Yeah, that's right. Papi Chulo, baby.
He's going to be on within the next 2 weeks, he said.
We will have Jose Reyes on the podcast. Give it up for Jose Reyes.
La Melaza.
Subscribe to Amazin But True wherever you get podcasts. Follow him on Twitter at FiggyNY. Follow me at Jake Brown Radio. Timmy Trumpet, first pitch on Tuesday. How about that? It's happening.
That's right.
I think we get partial credit. We had Blaster Jacks on the show. They said it's in the works. It happens right after they came on. Coincidence? I think not. We'll take credit, but we need Edwin Diaz to pitch no matter what the score is Tuesday, so we get live trumpets. And I said this in April, they need live trumpets. We couldn't get, who is the trumpeter? Louis Armstrong?
He's dead. What is that? Neil Armstrong? Did you say Neil Armstrong?
Can we get Kenny G out here?
Kenny G, it's a saxophone.
Let's get him. Let's get the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, for God's sakes, in here.
Oh, my God.
But this is like, these kind of moments we love, and it's against the Dodgers. Maybe an NLCS preview coming up as the Mets look to sweep the Rockies on Sunday. They've taken the series already. Would be huge to sweep going to the Dodger series, but you get the trumpets leading into a tough test and a good test. We'll see DeGrom on the hill against the Dodgers. Hopefully that's Game 1 NLCS, probably in Los Angeles, unfortunately, because they're probably going to have home field. But we're getting a little playoff preview, and then after that, it should be smooth sailing. The schedule's pretty easy for the Mets, Figgy, but
nothing is easy.
Nothing's easy, but this is a fun little test coming up this week.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I go. Let's go backwards, right? The Yankees. We thought they could take the Yankees while they were down.
Boo.
They won 4-2 and 4-2, so it wasn't blowouts. It were good games, really good games, exciting games, down to the wire, last swing, all the way to the warning track, those kind of games. And that's what you want. You want your team rallying back. You want your team in every single game. Every pitch matters, and you want those high-pressure situations. It doesn't get bigger than a Subway Series. That's a great preparation for the playoffs. Now you're going to go ahead, and yeah, the Rockies were a little bit downtrodden. They're not, the creme de la creme of the West, but now you're going to go and then take on the Dodgers, who are, and you want to be able to go toe-to-toe with them. And do I count it as oh, my God, they lose 2 out of 3, they're terrible, we can't compete with them? No, not at all. But at the same time, yeah, I got Jacob deGrom on the mound. I feel like we have the best team on the planet when Jacob deGrom's on the mound. And after that, you're going to have just everybody else trying to figure out a way to get this team to continue to win games. Mark Canha, again, continues to swing that bat and just put the ball in play, carry this team, because it's not really the superstars in the middle that are doing it. Lindor hasn't had an RBI in a little while. Alonso hit the home run that we've been waiting for, but Mark Canha has been the guy that's been really driving in a bunch of runs and coming up clutch for this team. And all they do is play winning baseball. It's a team game.
I like to say, Canha, in honor of Cannon. He's been incredible. Easiest guy to root for in this team. and I want to sweep the Dodgers. I want to send this stupid team a message because they are not losing. They win every freaking night.
It's ridiculous.
Them and the stupid Braves just keep winning. We want to coast away, run with this division.
You saw that tweet, right?
Until tonight, they keep winning. It's not fair.
Tonight's the first night, right? Isn't it? Tonight's the first night since June 27th or something like that the Mets have won a game and the Braves have actually lost. Every time the Mets lost, the Braves won over the last 13, 14 games. So right when you think the Mets are playing fantastic baseball, won 16 out of the 19 games, and you look up and the Braves are right there in the rearview mirror, very close. And there's a reason for it. They play very good baseball, and the Mets have to continue to find a way to win these games.
Yeah, and I think they will. So we'll see what happens. Old Timers Day was great, Figgy. In another language, they would call it Dia del Viejo Cantador de Tiempo. You impressed by that? That I knew Old Timers Day in Spanish?
That hurt me in so many ways.
Was it the right way to say it? I think it was.
It was close.
Dia del Viejo Cantador de Tiempo.
Cantador.
I'm learning, see? Cantador. Listen, I tried. I might have some help by Maida before giving me
I like to buy a vowel. I like to buy a vowel.
That's the...
In an accent.
Maybe a tilde and a somewhere in there.
So I know grandma is abuela. What's grandpa?
Abuelo.
Abuelo. Damn it, it's that easy?
It's that easy. It's
and retired player is what?
Jugador retirado.
Excusez-moi?
Jugador retirado.
Retirado.
There it is.
Domo omigato, Mr. Retirato. All right, that's a trip to the Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy as he still ices his arm from his 119
I
pitch.
take no
Do you feel
claim.
your whole body from the 119 pitches?
I'm fully healed. I was ready to go.
So you're pitching tomorrow?
I was ready to go today. I was hoping they made a call to the pen or called me up. It was like I was down in the minor leagues again. And I'm like, just let the phone ring, damn it. I see these guys are struggling right now. Al Leiter couldn't throw strikes. He threw 8 pitches to Mike Piazza. Did anybody notice that? 8 pitches to Mike Piazza. Walked him twice and then gave up, almost gave up a hit. Yes, Pedro changed the count magically. Listen, it's an old-timers game. Whatever will happen, and that's what you wanted to see. Did you want to see Mike Piazza walk? Hell no.
Mike hit dingers in batting practice, and so did Andy
He had 2
Chavez.
bombs,
I watched
yes.
them hit homers, and unfortunately it did happen during the game. No one came even close.
They took the swings to do it, but again, when the ball's coming in at 40 miles an hour, it's not as easy to square that thing up. But listen, at the end of the day, all the guys went out there. Nobody got hurt. I thought Elster was dead, first player of the game. Elster goes back, falls down, and all I'm thinking is, please, no clavicle, no arm issue. He gets back up and keeps going, and I think everybody let out a big sigh of relief because I'm like, all right, old timers game, first pitch, old timers game over. Great.
Kevin Elster looks like he's in a rock band. Like, is he part of AC/DC? He showed up with this goatee and shade. He looks Rico Suave.
Listen, Kevin Elster was always one of those heartthrob kind of players. Like, the women from the 80s were just pawing every chance they had. Kevin Elster's waving at, the fans up in the top. He's still one of those guys, but at the same time, there's a little too much paint being used.
You think?
What do I think?
What do you mean paint?
His mustache, everything that was...
You think his mustache is painted on?
Everything that...
There's Bobby Valentine here.
Okay, I'm 48, and do you see all this gray? No shot that was natural. No shot that was natural.
So you think he's got, Botox done or something?
I'm not saying Botox, but I can definitely tell you he's got Just for Men. Keith Hernandez supplied the Just for Men around the clubhouse, possibly.
Yeah, how about that? We're here at EBBS Brewing Co. Shout out to AG's Sports Groupies in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I caught you. I'm like, get your ass back here. Yeah, watch your language, AG over here. We're here at EBBS after the game. They're closing up shop soon, so we're going to close a little bit. But the Mets, 82-46, 3-game lead.
Is that good?
It's pretty damn good. I love Buck Showalter. He is such a breath of fresh air from Luis Rojas, who, like I said, Domo Migato, Mr. Roboto. He was Mr. Roboto. And Buck just is genuine. He's funny. He's honest. He brings a certain swagger and moxie to this team that they've been lacking since, Bobby Valentine. I guess Terry had some, but Bobby was that dude. He brought the stash out today.
Yes, he did.
It's been a while since the Mets had a manager you could trust every night. Sure, he has some moves we hate. We hated Michael Givens on Friday night, but the team was resilient and won. He's been Michael Givens Givens has been giving us nothing. He's been terrible.
Hey,
and that's
when
the
did
thing.
Michael Bivens start pitching?
Yeah, that's well. Here's
Biv DeVoe.
Here's the thing. Everyone's saying blame Billy Epler.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's old people jokes here. I don't know. I can't relate. They didn't do enough. That's what everyone's saying. They didn't do enough to the bullpen, and we'll close Mets-wise on this. Did they do enough? Are you worried about this bullpen going into October?
I'm not.
November.
I'm not, because I told you, the starting staff gets someone like Jacob deGrom, and you have Max Scherzer, and those guys are going close to back-to-back. That's saving the bullpen. That's an extra bullpen guy right there. As much as you complain about Givens, if you look up his last 30 games that he's pitched in, he has a 1.8 ERA. 2 of those games happen to be disasters. The first one he ever pitched in a Met uniform, he gave up like 4 runs. But after that, this was kind of one of those that you kind of chalk up that he got into a good groove, and all of a sudden he gave up some runs. But in his last 30 games, he's had a 1.8 ERA.
Unfortunately, most of those weren't with the Mets. That's the problem.
I understand that, but this is... it's a microcosm, right? You're like, oh, what have you done for me lately? Give him an opportunity to get comfortable. It's not easy to go into new surroundings where his role is definitely different than what he was doing anywhere else that he has been. He's coming in here, and it's like, hey, you might be the mop-up guy. You might be the 8th inning guy. We're not really sure what to do with you, but you got to earn your role. So that's the beautiful part about Buck Showalter is he will put him out there and let him either win or lose his role. And I think once you get towards crunch time, if he hasn't been able to do it in his last 5 outings, he's not going to be there to do it. So you don't have to worry about that.
Buck was the first manager of your career in Arizona in 2000. I think I know more about your career than you, which is like kind of sad at this point. But how has Buck grown from 2000? Like, do you see differences from when he managed you in 2000 and what he is in 2022?
It's just... So you always say, like, as for a rookie, the game is always sped up, and you're trying to figure out a way to slow the game down, right? It's never that way for Buck. The game is never faster than he's already thinking. It never. There's not a move. There's not a call that he is not on top of with his staff. Glenn Sherlock was my bullpen coach. He's now the bench coach. Glenn Sherlock was the bullpen coach when I was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So these two have been together for a long, long time. You're talking about 20 years, over 20 years of experience of ups and downs in baseball, all the different nuances. And at the end of the day, what has Buck learned? Buck has learned that the players, they are the ones who police the clubhouse. They are the ones who take care of their own, that's their own area. What Buck really cares about is once you get into the dugout, you're rooting for your teammate, you're pulling for your teammate, you're doing everything you can to help this team win. And he has put guys in positions to be successful. And you don't see him, he's not out there pointing at it, me, look at me, it's all me. He throws the praise on the players, but he also, if they falter, he will take the blame for the faltering. And that's something different because when you're a young manager and you're a new manager, people sit there and they want to see how you react to this. And if you've never done it before, you don't know what to say. You don't know how to feel. You don't want everybody to be like, oh, it's his fault all the time, like you used to say about Rojas every 5 seconds. It's difficult.
He was so bad.
But it's difficult to live through that. You can't live through those mistakes because it's your first time and your only time. So all you know about him is that he's always made mistakes.
The amount of times he said up, downs, I started doing imaginary push-ups in my brain, and I didn't know what it was.
Let's not perpetuate a lie. There's no way you did a push-up.
Yeah, you're right.
But
I said fake once.
But at the end of the day, Buck Showalter is somebody who has done it all, seen it all, and at the same time, he's great for a quote or two. Knows how to work the New York media. He's been a part of it for years. And at the end of the day, he is not the focal point of this team, right? This team is playing great winning baseball, and you always say it's encapsulated by guys who have bought into this winning way. It's not about me, I, swing for the fences. It's about putting the ball in play. It's about making a pitch. It's about being able to get the 3 outs when called upon. And, of course, you have Edwin Diaz at the end of the day, who is lights out the best closer in baseball. And then when you have a guy like Jacob deGrom finally healthy, and you have Scherzer who has that leadership. You have all these veteran guys. There's a mix. When the Diamondbacks won in 2001, that was a team that I said right away, they have the mix. And what the mix is that you need veteran guys who, this might be their last chance at a title. You need those veteran guys who realize like how hard it is to get to the A, playoffs, B, World Series, C, win the whole damn thing. Remember, the Braves won 14 straight National League East championships. They went to 2 World Series, and they lost one of them. So it's not that simple just because you got there. So you want guys who have gone through the wars, who've gone through the battles, who maybe have come out on top. Maybe they've failed. You want those guys. And Scherzer's one of those guys that you look up to him and you blindly go wherever the hell he goes. Whatever he does, you follow him, and he's done that ever since he's gotten here. Jake, of course, best pitcher on the planet when he's healthy, and then at the end of the day, that lineup, the depth, and the way that this team is playing together, this is something very special, and all they can do is continue to add to it.
I feel like I'm part of the team when I'm here every day. I'm like, my routine.
No.
Besides the diet, which, they've been feeding us well. They've been feeding me well with these, shrimp tempura last night.
You missed the taco. Did you
lobster
get the taco
tacos tonight? Yeah, we were just eating good. Unfortunately, yeah, very good. Highly recommend.
Everybody, lobster? What?
I recommend the lobster roll is available to the public in section 105. Buck might be without bad news. Francisco Alvarez is being evaluated for an ankle injury. Might miss the rest of the season. So we might not. We might not get the Alvarez in September and October that we hope for. I'm sorry, we're stuck with James McCann and Tomas Nido. McCann's been rough to watch. All right, Amazin But True. Jake Brown, Nelson Figueroa. Give it up for Figgy. Give it up for AG Sports Groupies. Give it up for Andrew Hartz.
Yes, sir.
Give it up for EBBS Brewing Co. Give it up for Cadillac.
Yeah.
Visit your Cadillac showroom today. Be iconic. Give it up for me, Jake Brown. Thank you. How to get some
artificial crowd noise put in here.
I gave Figgy a shout out, and thanks for coming, everyone.
Yeah.
The Mets look to sweep on Sunday. They look to sweep the Dodgers. Can I get a let's go Mets? Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Amazin But True! Signing out!
Let's go Mets!
We'll throw to our interviews with Doc, Tim, Teufel, Wagner, Franco, Glendon, Rusch next. Good night! All right, we're with Doc Gooden. Doc, you're starting. What kind of cheese you got left in the tank?
Open. You gotta get it right. The whole generation, I'm opening.
How you feeling?
I feel all right. You see a lot of the cousin Larry today.
Uncle Charlie's gone.
Uncle Charlie's gone. That's in the past, like in the 80s.
How cool is it for old timers to be back? How you feeling to see a lot of your old guys here?
That's great. It's great to see a lot of 86 guys and rolling the 69 72 Mets guys before me. I love the history of the Mets. I love what Mr. Cole's doing, but everybody's back. Not only great for the players, but great for the fans.
Any of these guys you want to strike out?
I just want to throw strikes. Mound far, man. I just want to get it up.
Mound spot.
I don't want to embarrass him.
What do you think of this guy throwing 119 pitches a few weeks
You
ago?
should dress up. I mean, you got Murphy and Reyes, we need him for those guys.
I'm in the minor leagues of old time again. I got to get called up for next year.
Fucking Murphy and Reyes, they're not even 40 yet.
They're not even 40. That's and Tolley.
And Tony.
Yeah.
Is this a World Series team this year? Remind you of 86 at all?
If they win it, I'll say yes, but until then, it's against Murphy. They play ball. Good team, fun to watch. Not excitement.
Doc Gooden, friend of the program. Amazin But True. Timmy Teufel, how you feeling? You're in the starting lineup.
Oh boy,
Have you been warming up for this moment?
I warmed up. I've been down in AAA working out with some of the guys in AA. Whenever I go to the roving infield stuff, where I bounce around towns, I got to take some swings, bro.
What do you got at the dish? Are you double? Do you have any home run power left
I just
in
got
you?
line drive power right now.
So singles hitter?
It's not coming out. No, I may stretch a double. We'll see. But I'm working on centering the baseball today.
How cool is this? Old Timers Day back. A lot of your old teammates, managers. How
It's
cool
very
is this?
cool. It's very cool to see the players I played with, how they've kind of gotten a little bit older, a little wiser, and we get to have some fun out here for a day. And representing the Mets again, that's pretty cool.
Is this a World Series team this year?
They have the magic. They definitely have the magic. They're coming from behind quite a bit. They're playing good baseball. They're hitting the ball the other way. They're making pitchers pitch hard. Defense has been solid, so they got the makings. We got to hold up on the pitching end and maybe watch the injury list. And if they stay away from that, I think they got a really good chance.
Remind you of 86 at all?
A lot of the comeback wins. Last night, Pete Alonso had a big base hit. Night before, he had the two-run homer. So there's a lot of good things coming on late in the games that we did in 1986.
All right, Glendon, what do you throw? What kind of cheese you got left?
Probably got like some high 70s, maybe 80 if I'm lucky.
Who are you looking forward to facing the most?
Anybody out there. It'd be good to just get out and get on the mound.
Have you been told? Are you getting one batter, two? How many are you facing?
No clue. I'll be ready to go though if they need me.
How cool is it to be back here and on the Citi Field for the first time?
It's incredible. Being back here around all these guys. I mean, generations of Met teams and players is incredible.
Is this a World Series team?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
They're going all the way.
Yeah, I think they with the pitching they have and the way they've been playing all year, they're going to be tough to beat.